Hello, everybody. Welcome to Browns and Beyond, your home for Cleveland Browns content, NFL content, and other sports content. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you stay locked in with all the latest sports content. And most importantly, drop us a comment. We want to hear your thoughts. All right, boys, here we are. We are here on a Thursday night. And we got some football to review here in the Cleveland Browns. Wait a second, did I view a win? A victory, Dave?
What?
Steve, what?
I smell something in the air. It smells like victory. Victory.
And Dave is the one that got this one right.
Yeah, I'm not.
Steve and I thought it'd be boat race.
Well, I'm not one
Dave
to.
was optimistic.
I'm not one to brag, gentlemen.
Like
I'm
I
not
said,
one to brag.
it's the movie Face Off, and you guys switched places, and I think you're Nicolas Cage, maybe. Anyway, I don't know what's
He's
going on.
Travolta.
Yeah, there we go. Anyways, so we will lead off here with Mr. Steve Retzer. And Steve, what do you think about that big Browns victory? 31-6 over the Dolphins. Mr. Judkins got in the end zone. What did he get in the end zone? Three times?
3 times. Who was doing that boat racing, by the way?
It was, the Dolphins. It was a no-show. It was just, I don't know what they were doing. Is that even an NFL team? Or I don't know. What is that? Is that an XFL
Didn't
team?
look like one on Sunday, Brad.
So, anyway, Steve, let's get into it here. What are your thoughts on the Browns and the Dolphins game?
All right, guys, like you said, Brent, we won 31-6. What a whooping! The Browns go to 2-5, and the Dolphins go to 1-6 on the season. The Browns have been taking a lot of heat lately, from ownership to management to coaching, but they finally get a win at home.
To the fans.
To the fans, yes.
Yes.
On a rainy Sunday afternoon, felt good to be in the win column.
Yes.
Kevin Stefanski said, "I message the football team every single day, and sometimes you use different tools to get their attention. The Philly comes out every once in a while." He calls it the Philly. He's from Philadelphia.
Let's wait a second here, Brent. Is Steve Retzer now quoting Kevin Stefanski?
I am.
Is that like a thing now? Or is that
Oh my God! Are you guys Facebook friends? Or what's going on here?
So this was the message to the team last week ahead of the win over the Dolphins. Let's see the Philly come out more often, I mean, because jobs could be on the line here, boys,
Yes, sir.
The Browns' passing game was obsolete. Thank goodness for the Browns' run game.
Yes, sir.
And thank goodness for the penalties on the Dolphins' defense.
Gosh, they
and
looked
the Browns'
bad.
defense did good.
They looked bad,
Man,
too.
Miami was just
They looked like an
awful.
undisciplined team.
I
They
was
looked like a
surprised
not
how
very
bad they
well
looked.
coached team.
Not good.
I mean, Mike McDaniels is on the sideline with those glasses, looking like,
Did I see him vape again on the sidelines? He had the vape thing going. Remember last year he vaped? Anyways, I don't know.
And this guy was supposed to be boy genius a couple of years ago,
Yeah,
wasn't he,
he was
guys?
the Frisco OC, right?
Yeah.
He took him to the Super Bowl.
He was part of the Kyle. Yeah, I
the
believe
first
it was.
Kyle
one.
Shanahan.
Yeah.
When he coached with the Browns, when Mike Pettin was
But
the
that was
coach,
the
right.
Shanahan and McDaniel. And,
Yeah, that's right.
And all those guys were on the side.
But he was only there. McDaniel was only there. He only was there for the Jimmy G Super Bowl, not the Purdy Super
Not the
Bowl.
Purdy one, right?
Yeah, this is the Jimmy G. Yeah.
Well, guys, I believe we found our future running back in Quidshad Junkins. He
Yeah.
is the offense.
I think we
If
can
there
do
is
that,
a-
yeah.
Finally, we have something that we like besides the defense, right?
That's right.
He had 25 carries, 84 yards, and yes, Brent, like you said, 3 touchdowns. It's the most touchdowns by a Browns running back since Nick Chubb in 2022.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Judkins leads the rookies in rushing yards, touchdowns, and first downs. He impresses me each week, and I believe the entire NFL. They put Judkins in the Wildcat.
Yes.
Ooh, which means, you hike him the ball, and then he's just going to go off and run with it.
I think we should call it the Wild Dog. Maybe rename it, guys. Let's call it the Wild. Let's give it a Browns.
Yeah, the Brown-centric type
Yeah,
name.
exactly.
Yeah. I can't remember the Wildcat offense, the Browns, they
Maybe
did
with
it
Cribbs?
They did it with Josh Cribbs, and they did it with Terrell Pryor, if you guys remember. Many years ago, many moons ago.
Did you see that first one? It looked like Judkins mishandled that snap. It was a little bit high.
And he still got it in.
And he was still able to kind of gather it and get into the end zone.
Their D stinks.
I do wonder how much we're going to see that going forward, Steve. It's going to be interesting to see if that's going to be in the playbook, short yardage or goal line.
Well, only
that.
if it's a bad rushing defense.
Yeah.
I think we
You
will
know what
see
I
it
mean?
more. And I heard that Kevin Stefanski said you could call it whatever. It doesn't have to be called Wildcat. You can call it whatever you want. You want to call it Wild Dog, Brent? Let's just go with Wild Dog.
The
It's
funny
got a nice ring to it.
hell, you could have Judkins pass the ball, and he'd probably still do better.
Oh, jeez.
I'm down on my boy
Yeah,
Dylan.
I was about to
As
say.
you can see, a little down
You were
though.
buying that Dylan stuff.
I was. I'll admit it. All right,
Yeah.
continue.
Well, Judkins scored one on a 46-yard run, and the other two, like we said, were in let's call it Wild Dog formation.
There you go.
One was bobbled around, like we just mentioned, but
Yeah.
he managed to score. Now, Dylan Gabriel, he didn't throw a touchdown pass or an interception. The good news is he didn't turn the ball over.
Yes.
But we must see more out of him if he wants to remain the starting quarterback. I do think we're going to get some Shador. He'll get his chance eventually. Even if Jimmy Haslam has to step in, I think he will. But it's not going to be for a while yet, what we're just going to say.
Real quick on that, I heard
Yes, I'm hearing something too.
this is what I heard.
Yes.
It's not something Steve's going to like. They might allow Dylan to play against the two cupcakes.
Interesting.
Jets and Ravens, and after that he's going to throw Shador in. Because, he wants Dylan to look good. That's what I heard.
I'm hold on a second. My thing is I'm hearing is Shador getting the reps? See, that's what I'm wondering.
He's not getting them.
Yeah, he's not getting the reps.
Or they might be saying he's not, but maybe he is.
Because you're hearing different things. Is he ready? Is he not ready? You have certain players saying that he is. I've heard from other sources saying that he isn't. First of all, he needs to get prepped. He needs to be ready. Imagine if Dylan Gabriel twists his ankle against the Patriots. He's going to need to be ready to go in there and play.
So we got to comment on this. Sorry,
Yeah,
Steve. Good. I want to make this comment.
Sure.
Dave said is very interesting.
Yes.
So I don't follow this stuff, even though, much football my whole life. I really am starting to understand this now. They do say when you are the backup, you're number 2.
Yes.
You're still expected to take some reps.
Yes.
The only time you're not, I guess, is if you're like a veteran or something like that. But they said if you're like if the head guy's a rookie and the other guy is another rookie, that other rookie should be getting some reps, and they're saying he's not. That's kind of odd. Don't you think, Stefanski?
Well, they said he's not getting any first-team reps. Okay?
That's right.
Shador's getting reps.
Yeah.
He's not with the first team. And
Yeah.
he wants to give Dylan, they said since Dylan's a rookie.
That's right.
He wants Dylan to have all the first-team snaps. And nothing against Shador, I guess. But he gets 0, none.
But I heard this on the radio today.
But if it was Joe Flacco,
Yeah.
Well,
if Joe Flacco was the starter, and Stefanski said, just pretend Flacco was,
Sure.
then you could give Shador some more reps.
by the way,
Joe's out.
I get it.
That's what they're trying to say.
That only
anyway.
feeds the Kevin Stefanski is trying to sabotage Shador Sanders narrative out there that permeates all through the public domain right now.
I think that Shador should get a few reps
I
with
think he should, too.
the first
I don't
team
think it would hurt to give him a
because
few.
I heard even just a couple plays probably wouldn't hurt. Just a couple reps.
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, Dylan Gabriel twists his ankle. Guess who should
Yeah,
play?
he's not going to have any work
Yeah,
with
what
the.
does it hurt? Stay over 15 more minutes or something? I don't know.
Come on, for even just for a couple plays. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
One
continue.
set of downs or something.
Continue, Steve. Sorry, you're doing good.
All right, guys. So Harold Feenan Jr. He had 4 catches, 36 yards, and the rest of the receivers had 2 catches or less on the day.
Not inspiring there, Steve.
No, it's not. Besides Jabari Thrash, 1 catch for 23 yards. All the passes were short once again, and no downfield action. I don't know if we can win many games like this, boys. The Dolphins, they beat themselves, getting penalty after penalty, which helped the Browns.
Turnovers.
Yep. The Dolphins had 11 penalties for 103 yards, and 7 of them were in the first half, which was more than their first down total of 6. That's how bad the Dolphins beat the Dolphins. The Browns didn't really beat the Dolphins.
How did
half.
Mikey McDaniel get on the plane? I mean, seriously, how did ownership even let him on the plane? I don't get this.
Unbelievable.
Was Mikey McDaniel at the basement last Sunday with us? Maybe later. Okay, anyway, it's an inside joke. Okay.
Very inside, yeah.
Woo, okay, anyway.
Well, guys, the Browns defense played really good. I was afraid that newly acquired Tyson Campbell, cornerback, would get torched by Tua, but he did exactly the opposite. He was in coverage on 30 snaps, allowed 0 receptions, forced 1 incompletion, and had 1 pick 6 for a touchdown. That was just what I wanted to see out of the guy. Safety Grant Delpit, he received the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week award. He forced a fumble on a kickoff and had a quarterback hit that led to an interception. which contributed to 14 points for the Brownies.
Hey, Steve, we've ripped on Bubba Ventrone in the special teams. Is it time to throw Bubba Ventrone in the special teams?
Maybe
a
get
little
him on
flowers. Throw him some
Throw him
flowers
bone.
this week. There you go. There you go.
Oh, man. So that led to he had a sack also. Grant Delpit did, along with Myles Garrett and Jerome Baker. And Alex Wright had multiple tackles for losses. Man, Tua, he had a game he'd like to forget.
You think?
He threw no touchdown passes, 3 interceptions.
Yeah, he looked bad.
Yeah,
Real
he did.
bad.
Campbell had the pick 6, along with Rayshawn Jenkins, and then Ronnie Hickman got in. I like seeing Ronnie Hickman get an interception. That was good. Our safety. Tua eventually got benched for rookie Quinn Ewers from Texas.
That's right.
Who didn't do much. I didn't feel that he did a lot there, and he didn't do a whole lot in this one, Didn't do good in preseason, but, they had to put him in, but he didn't do much by game's end. Now, Devon Achane had 13 carries, or am I saying his name right? Achane. Sorry,
Yes.
Devon Achane had 13 carries for 82 yards, so he was the highlight of the Dolphins' offense. The receivers didn't do much damage. Jalen Waddle shocked me. He was held to 1 catch for 15 yards.
Yes.
I never thought that was. I thought he was going to have over 100 yards receiving. You knew they were going to go to him. You would have thought.
This offense really, I wonder what it would look like with a healthy Tyreek Hill. He's the type of receiver that kind of moves the needle. And, that Waddle-Hill combination was so unstoppable a couple of years ago when Tua had that really good year and he was healthy and they made the playoffs. And, now he's injured, has a bad injury loss for the season. So, yeah, I mean, it's just not the same offense that it was a couple of years ago. You can really see the decline.
No, that's definitely true. And if Hill was in there, I think that would have made a big difference.
Yeah,
that's for sure. As we know, Mike McDaniel is definitely on that hot seat, and the Dolphins couldn't do anything right. He may be saved, though, since owner Stephen Ross extended him through 2028 last year. So they might want to keep him just so he doesn't have to pay another guy. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
And he likes him. He wants to believe in him. I feel like it's like the same. You know what I mean? Same thing with Stefanski in Cleveland. I think
it's similar, but I actually think that's worse.
He looks like the opposite of Mike Vrabel. He looks like the guy that Mike Vrabel would have shoved his head in a toilet back in high school. He does not look like a leader of men on a football field. I know that there's this necessity to get the game planner, schemer out there, play designer, and that's the shtick nowadays.
Yeah.
But I don't see it. I mean, I didn't see it on the sideline on Sundays. I haven't seen it this entire season. I don't know how this guy keeps his job. I said it before the season. I thought he was on very thin ice.
Said that he would be the top coach.
He did do a good job, though, those first few years.
He did.
He succeeded.
The plume is off the
Similar like Stefanski. Stefanski had his few years, too, that he did decent.
Sure.
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of coming. You can't get free reign forever, right? So.
Yep. So speaking of, Stefanski's job appears to be safe for the moment, but needs to start generating an offense, guys.
Yeah, he does.
Neither team seems ready to make a rash decision yet. That's where we're going to go with for Stefanski or McDaniel. Because remember, before the game started, we talked about one coach could lose their job. That was a possibility. They're both moving forward with their coaches. The Browns needed this win really bad, especially since they traveled to New England next. Go Browns. Let's get the momentum going. I don't know if you're going to beat the Patriots, but we'll cheer them on. Go Browns.
They're playing your second favorite team this week.
I know.
I mean, you know supposedly
what I'm gonna say about that in a future cast.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, before we get started, do you guys think that Kevin Stefanski or the Browns will make a change at the OC? Do you think that could happen, or no?
No, I've said all along. I think that Tommy Reese is there just
figurehead.
As a figurehead.
He's the KC guy, the Kansas City Chiefs guy. Remember the?
I think he's the quarterback coach.
You're making an Eric Bieniemy reference.
Yeah.
No, I get where you're going with that. I mean, I think Stefanski wants to keep the play calling control.
Yeah,
I always felt he has, and to a great degree, I think to his detriment. The thing that I doubt is his ability to develop a young quarterback. I think we're seeing that now. And
do you think that Steve and I kind of talked about this a while ago, and this is a knock against Stefanski? We've had this thought that being a head coach is kind of an overwhelming job in the first place.
Sure.
Long hours. You just do. that maybe because of some of the responsibilities and the stresses and dealing with the owner, that he's not focused enough on the play calling? It's got to be a thought in your head, right?
Well, saw that happen with Ryan Day at Ohio State. Big Buckeye fan. He chose to eventually give up play calling.
Yeah.
He had play calling duties at Ohio State. He brought in his former mentor, Chip Kelly, so took over the play
Chip's
call.
helping him out. Yeah. It's working out for those guys.
Right. Well, now Chip's
moved on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, he moved to...
He's at the Raiders now, right?
Now they've promoted Brian Hartline, their receiver coach.
Yes.
Who's been so.
But don't you think, though, that it's just, as early on, especially with COVID, he could focus on the offense. Not a lot of distractions early on. Now it's kind of, that's an overwhelming job.
It is.
Here's the thing, too. Stefanski hired Tommy Rees to be his coordinator and really quarterback coach. He's a quarterback coach.
Yeah.
It would make no sense for him to fire him right off rip. You know what I mean? He's got to stick with them. I mean, that's who you hired.
Right.
You might as well stick with them 1 year.
All right, Dave, we'll go and get into your Browns versus Dolphins review. What do you got?
Well, it's good to be right, gentlemen.
It is.
It's good to be right.
Absolutely, Dave. You deserve it, buddy.
Well, the
the
Browns got their groove back, and maybe Miami's just that bad. On a rainy Sunday, the Browns got exactly what they needed. The strengths of this team as it's presently constructed. They leaned on a strong performance on their best side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball, and they leaned on their best offensive player. Let's start with the defense, guys. The Browns came into this game with just 4 takeaways, 2 of which came 2 weeks ago in the loss in Minnesota. The loss to Minnesota in London, then came Sunday's game against the Dolphins. The Browns doubled their total in one game. They got 3 interceptions, including one they turned directly into a touchdown by Tyson Campbell, as Steve mentioned.
Yeah.
They also got a fumble recovery on a kickoff return, allowing them to double up scores and really blow the game open. It was good to see the pass rush working. Myles Garrett with a sack, Grant Delpit with a sack, Jerome Baker with a sack. So it was good to see the pass rush kind of get after the Dolphins. By the way, they held the Dolphins to the lowest scoring total of the season, only 6 points. So that was really good.
Wow.
It really seemed like Tua, who had some decent moments on Sunday, who's had some decent moments this season, by the way, Sunday wasn't one of them. The second half is really where the roof caved in this one. He was just off on some throws in the first half, but, it was the second half that really, and I think Browns defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz saw the blood in the water, to borrow the Jaws term. The chum, the blood was in the water, and he was all too happy because he blitzed, I believe statistically, the most he's blitzed in a game this season. And that's what you do when you have a rattled quarterback. You get after him and you continue to rattle him, and you make him make mistakes, and he ends up making mistakes. And that's what we saw today. That's what we saw on Sunday. That's a major reason they had 3 picks in the second half. It got so bad he was benched midway through the fourth quarter for Texas Longhorn Quinn Ewers. Not a good situation. I wanted to point out the great defensive performance of the newly acquired Tyson Campbell. He had a pick 6. He also had 2 passes defense. A couple of key plays. He had, in the first half, I don't know if you noticed this, he had the key tackle on A-Chain when A-Chain broke away on the sideline. That was going to be a touchdown.
Oh yeah.
That was going to be a touchdown.
We were texting a text chain and we were watching.
Yeah, as we were watching the game, I know we were texting about it. That was going to be a touchdown. He had a clear path to the end zone, so that was a touchdown-saving tackle. I'll also point out that right before the Dolphins were driving, towards the end of the half when it was 17-3. Right before they kicked the field goal to make it 17-6, he broke up a key pass in the end zone that would have been a touchdown. So he may have saved 2 touchdowns in the first half. So credit to the newly acquired Tyson Campbell for a really solid game. So that's why Miami managed only 2 field goals in the first half. It was also, I have to say, it was good to see Myles break that 3-game streak, without a sack. And,
he needed that bad.
He had 2 TFLs. It was back to being Myles. And I think he kind of took advantage of some of those mismatches against the Miami offensive line. On the offensive side of the ball, it was good to see the Browns finally score over 20 points. Now, let's be honest, guys. That was with some help from the defense and the special teams. But, bottom line, when was this team going to score over 20 points? Because it's been a while. So, I know they got, a lot of help from the defense and from the special teams. But, the offense achieved 2 important goals. They committed to the run, and they didn't turn the ball over. That's the two best things I think we can say about the offense in this one, guys. Mm-hmm. The run game got its best run of the day in the second quarter. It was a 3-3 game, tie game. And in the second quarter, after a Riley Patterson field goal that tied it at 3, then Mr. Junkins and the run game got it going. He would bust a nice 46-yard touchdown run right up the middle. And I think you saw that explosiveness that he has, Steve.
That reminded me of Chubb or vice versa.
Yeah.
He's our next version of Nick Chubb.
That reminds me, I was going to say, that was like Nick Chubb breaking away for one of those long runs that we watched so many times. That's when the Browns took a 10-3 lead. They didn't trail for the remainder of the game. They were able to score 2 more touchdowns. Both of them working that. Are we going to go Wildcat or are we going Wild Dog? We'll go Wild Dog since the Browns won this one. The Wild Dog formation. Oh, that tricky Kevin Stefanski, by the way.
He's a trickster.
Yeah, he's a trickster. Well, he's a lot of things, Steve.
Yeah.
I do have to point out, I mean, Judkins finished 84 yards, 25 carries. I know it's only an average of 3.4 yards per carry, but I have to say, the important thing from my perspective is they at least committed to the run. You know, after that 12-carry game where we talked about how do you only give Judkins 12 carries, they at least committed to the run in this one. You know, last week against the Steelers, they abandoned it. Exactly.
That's not good, yeah.
This was a far cry from what we saw last week. The game script got away from that run early, and we saw that game got away from them. It was good to see a clean game from Dillon Gabriel, although he did flirt with disaster a couple of times. He had an interception called back by a penalty. By the way, if you go back and look at it, it was a very debatable penalty in the secondary against Miami. And then he had a questionable throw that went off a Dolphin defender's hands. So he really could have had 2 picks in this one. He's been flirting with some disaster in some of these games. I know he's played clean football, but he's been close. It's going to be interesting to see if he can keep that up against the Patriots. I would also add, Steve mentioned it, the Dolphins 11 penalties, 103 yards. They just look like an undisciplined football team. I can't talk about enough about how bad Mike McDaniel is and you know where this football team's at right now. Again, I'm just surprised he's still got a job right now, guys. As far as Dillon's concerned, we still have questions that need to be answered. Yes, he took care of the ball and still completing only 13 passes for 116 yards. It doesn't tell us much. The game plan continues to be really conservative here, guys. This is a button-up approach by Kevin. In my opinion, this is not doing Dillon or the Browns any favors here. I mean, Brent, I know you have some strong feelings about Dillon. You were buying the Dillon stock coming in.
Yeah, I still don't think that you know what you got with him, even if because Stefanski hasn't done a good job of play calling.
Yes.
I think you got to give Dillon an incomplete. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Now, Stefanski, he doesn't develop young quarterbacks. I think you mentioned it earlier,
yes.
Dave.
He likes them to be.
He might be able to handle Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Yeah. Good call.
But I don't think Stefanski can develop a rookie young quarterback.
Not like the guy from McVay. He's not a McVay.
Yeah, McVay would be able to do that.
And the Vikings guy could do it.
Would be able to do it.
Andy Reid's done
it. How about the Vikings guy?
Andy Reid's done it forever.
How about the Vikings guy? Kevin O'Connell.
O'Connell could do it.
Yes.
Yeah,
he inherited.
Just doesn't seem to be able to develop the young guy.
He inherited, an already pretty developed Baker Mayfield. He inherited an already pretty developed Kirk Cousins when he was OC in Minnesota. He had Jacoby Brissett, who was a veteran quarterback.
Yeah, he did.
Obviously, when he got Deshaun Watson, he was a finished product, a damaged finished product. But
he wasn't going to turn that around, by the way.
Exactly.
And I know that him and Watson have the same style. It's a different style.
That's true. Exactly. That's why the doubts that he ever really would work in a Kevin Stefanski offense.
But I will say this: it makes a good point.
Yes.
A good quarterback whisperer can probably take on any quarterback.
Well, yeah,
but there's not that many good ones.
Not that many.
And Reid comes to mind.
Exactly. Well, that's the probably apex mountain right now in the NFL of doing it because of his track record.
Yeah.
But these little dump passes aren't going to get done. The wide receivers play continues to do him no favors to the passing game. Another lackluster performance by Mr. Jerry Jeudy. I mean, where's the 1,200-yard receiver from a year ago? I keep, going after it. 2 catches for 17 yards.
Yeah.
Again, it's not very inspiring here, guys. They got 1 good catch out of Jamari Thrash for 23 yards, but that was it. This group continues to just be a major disappointment and maybe the worst wide receiver group in the NFL. It's just that bad. They did get, as Steve mentioned, a nice contribution from Harold Fannin, 4 catches for 36 yards. The offense overall just did enough. They converted the opportunities they needed to. The defense and special teams, gave them those opportunities, and they were able to take advantage of them. Just in conclusion here, guys, the Browns were able to win in a fashion they need to emulate going forward. We talked about this a lot really after the Green Bay game. The path to them winning football games is play a clean game offensively, run the football with Judkins, and play great defense.
Yeah.
Now, that's only going to work against so many teams. Eventually you're going to meet an offense that can put points on the board. Eventually you're going to find a defense that completely shuts down your run game, and your quarterback is going to have to be able to generate some chunk plays in the passing game. I want to see the Dylan we saw in the preseason. Brent, one of the encouraging things is I commented on how well he threw the 15-yard to 20-yard out. I want to see him work the middle of the field against zone defenses. I want to see more of that as part of Kevin Stefanski's game plan.
I even think that this bad offense goes back to the Flacco days, with the first few games, how Flacco was in the shotgun, like all those. They just, don't you think if you're looking at this, it doesn't look right. The preseason, you're right. The plays looked more suitable for.
I will say this, Steve. I don't know if you noticed this. 2 years ago, wasn't he using this kind of button-up conservative game plan with the Dorian Thompson-Robinsons and the P.J. Walkers of the world?
No, I think it was still more open, no. No, it was more open. You saw P.J. throw downfield. You were at the game.
Did P.J. throw downfield?
A little bit, but I know what you mean. No.
It was a fair amount of
Hold on. It was a variant of this. Hold on, to be fair. It was a variant.
Dinker and dunker.
Okay.
No, you're not completely wrong.
Okay.
It's a variant of that. It wasn't exactly this conservative,
I was at
but
the
it was a
Browns
variant
Ravens
of it.
game
Yeah.
where Watson was supposed to start, and then DTR got thrown in. Stefanski last minute. Oh, we're going to take Watson out, and we watched, and DTR was disastrous. I don't want to blame it all on it. Stefanski didn't really coach him up well, and they weren't prepared.
Yeah. Well, just in wrapping it up, guys, the passing game is still a work in progress, and obviously, as we've talked about here, that's probably putting it nicely.
Yeah.
At least for a week, the players, the coaches, the fans got what they needed, a much-needed win. Who let the dogs out, gentlemen?
Yeah, no, very, very well said, Dave. It was good. I remember talking to Dave and Steve after the win. Yes. Everybody was happy. We haven't felt that way since the Packers game felt good, too.
Well, we're not going to win that many.
Yeah,
we're trying to be realistic about our expectations. Brent, to borrow a Brent Keaton term, it's an R&D year.
It's an R&D year, yes it is.
It's an R&D year, so let's celebrate them when we
Indeed
can.
it is, indeed it is. So, all right, we are going to get to the game of the week here, and that is, we'll start with Mr. Steve Retzer. Steve, did you get back on your winning ways?
Yeah,
Are you still?
Steve?
I think. Steve, weren't you going to call off sick today because of this game? Anyways, continue, Steve.
Well, guys, this wasn't my week per se for game of the week or pretty much any of it. I had the Colts at the Chargers. I picked the Chargers to win at home. I just thought, you're at home, you got Herbert, you're going to win. I was wrong. Man, the Colts are a hot team.
They look good.
The Colts won 38-24.
All right, let's put it out there. Right now, are the Colts a legitimate Super Bowl contender?
No, absolutely not.
I want to say no.
Okay.
But they got the best record in the entire
Well, you know what they are?
For now.
Go ahead.
They're an early riser. And you know what? That helps, that does in the NFL? Absolutely nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like a baseball. For example, look at the Guardians.
Yes.
You knew damn well when they lost that, I think it was the second to the last game of the year, that streak ended, and now they came down from their high, and I feel the same thing's going to happen with the Colts. They're eventually going to come down from the high, and they're not going to regain it. But go ahead.
They could go 13-4 or 14-3,
yes,
and then lose to the 9-8
exactly
playoff team. A wild card team.
That reminds me a little bit of, your guy, Vrabel's 2021 Titans, who had a great regular season, and then Tannehill gets exposed in the playoffs. On Burrow's run to the Super Bowl, has a bad game where he throws a ton of picks, and they lose a game where, they just hand the game to the other team.
And look at the opposite of that. Look at the Eagles, how they flamed out at the end there, but then they were able to peak back up. Second game, remember that?
I will say this, just real quick about the Colts. I think they are, in some ways, and this is a backhanded compliment, a poor man's version, the AFC's poor man version of the Detroit Lions.
Yeah,
basically they've taken a slightly above average quarterback in a dome, surrounded them with a really good offensive talent, good line, good running game, some good receivers, good pass catching tight end, and said, you know what? And that's
with an average D.
With an average D, exactly.
That's it.
It's got all those. Now they're not as high end talent level as Detroit is. I think Detroit's overall roster is more talented than the Colts, but they've got a lot of the same elements, a lot of the same strengths to their roster that the Lions do to theirs. The Colts do. Yeah. They have the same.
Boy, I could kick myself now. We could have had Danny Dimes in the offseason instead of Flacco.
Could have real quick. I'll let you go, Steve. The Minnesota Vikings, who might want them right now.
Oh yeah, and you said
Vikings and Browns were the two top besides the Colts.
Yeah.
Sorry, we talked you into JJ, Dave.
There you go. He's a winner.
All right, continue, Steve.
Well, guys, the Colts and Daniel Jones continue to win games, and the Colts have the best record, like I mentioned, now 6-1, while the Chargers fall to 4-3. The Colts were about offensive dominance and getting turnovers. Jonathan Taylor scored 3 touchdowns in the game, just like Judkins, by the way.
Yeah.
And the Chargers just couldn't stop them. The Colts were up 23-3 at halftime, capitalizing on 2 first-half interceptions by Justin Herbert. Is he a fraud, Brent?
Yes, I was waiting for you to say it,
One of which was in the red zone.
Do you just want to
I haven't been talking about it just because, but he's a fraud. I mean, come on, bottom line.
This is your shtick.
I know. You're wanting me to do it. I know you do. It's just,
he was a first half
poking a bear.
I know.
Poking a bear.
Yeah, well, how's he doing? Oh, that's another loss. Okay. Anyways, how many losses does he have this year?
3.
Okay.
4 wins, though.
Hey, give it time. He'll be 500, and him and Lawrence will be singing "Kumbaya" at a retreat for divorced couples. Anyways, continue.
Those turnovers swung the momentum and put the Chargers in a deep hole, guys. The Colts' offense, led by Danny Dimes, was incredibly efficient, converting 3 crucial 4th downs on 1 second quarter drive that ended in a touchdown, highlighting the significant difference in execution. For the Chargers, it was a tale of 2 halves, guys, but it was too little, too late. The 2 interceptions and the inability to stop the run were backbreakers, guys. With them being down 20 by the half, they just couldn't come back. I mean, Herbert just was awful in that first half. But get this, he actually threw for a career-high 420 yards, and the offense had some life in the second half with 3 straight scoring drives.
I think that they miss a little bit of the running game, to be fair with the Chargers. They've had injuries to Hampton, to Najee Harris.
Harris was out.
And Harbaugh wants to have a balanced offense there, too, with the run game to kind of back up Herbert. Herbert did hit some nice throws to try and keep him in the game. The problem, really, in this game, they just couldn't stop the Colts.
The D was terrible.
Well, that's why I say this Colts offense
more than
is
a Herbert
legit.
problem.
It's a well-balanced run-it-and-throw-it offense.
Yeah, you got to have a running game, and they didn't have any running. I think Herbert led him in rushing, actually.
Yeah.
The guy they did good last week was non-existent in this one. One guy who did do good, though, was rookie tight end Oronde Gadsden. He had a breakout 164-yard game showing, which was some positive signs for the future. Despite the offense rallying, the defense never got the necessary stops. The Colts scored immediately after a Chargers touchdown with the 81-yard kickoff return, set up for a quick score, and they consistently moved the ball to maintain a comfortable lead. Khalil Mack was back for the Chargers, so that was a positive for the Chargers. He had a sack, but they just couldn't stop the running game. And remember, guys, in the previous podcast from Jonathan Taylor, I said, he's a top 5 running back. I think I put him at number 5, but look, he's leading the league in rushing. And
that's low-key a very underrated offensive line as well.
Yeah.
Remember what I said about the Lions. The Lions last year, when they ran the ball extremely well, had one of the 2 best offensive lines. It was them and the Philadelphia Eagles. This year, the Colts have to have one of the better run-blocking offensive lines in all the NFL. And Taylor's a special back, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he definitely is. Well, guys, at any rate, the high-powered Chargers' second-half offense wasn't enough to overcome, confirming the Colts as one of the AFC's top contenders. I still like my Chiefs, though.
Yeah. Well said, Steve. All right, we're going to get into Mr. Dave Green Show. Dave, you're back on your winning ways.
Yes, sir.
Wait a second. Was it a 4-week slump?
Well, we don't want to talk about that. We've moved on.
I know.
Hey, let's
Anyway, I know,
let's
dude,
make
it's
it
bad.
two predictions in a row.
And I'm losing
There we
left
go.
and right, and
There
here
we
I am
go.
coming at you. Okay, anyways.
Let's make it 2 in a row. I got the Browns-Dolphins game right.
Yeah.
Well, I took a little bit of a layup on my game of the week. I took the Chiefs over the Raiders. After a slow start to the 2025 season, the Chiefs, Steve's preseason Super Bowl pick to win it all, are starting to look like a team that won the 3 previous AFC titles. On Sunday, the Chiefs got above 500 for the first time this year, recording a 31-0 win over the Raiders, who fell to 2-5. Sunday marked Andy Reid's first shutout as an NFL coach in regulation. I found that to be really interesting. It was Kansas City's first shutout since 2011, which also I found surprising.
Wow.
It was a little
Okay, I didn't
surprising
realize that.
considering how good the Spags-led defense has been the last few years. Mahomes threw for 3 touchdown passes, 2 of which to the newly returned Rashee Rice, who made his debut after the 6-game suspension. Mahomes went 26 of 35 for 286 yards before being pulled before the start of the fourth quarter. It was interesting. The Chiefs just kind of cashed in their chips to start the fourth quarter and said this one's, basically in the bag. So, I mean, why play him when the game's pretty much out of control like that? This was big for Kansas City to get back the services of Rice. This wide receiver core was really lacking, especially after the early season injury to Xavier Worthy. It appears Mahomes has his full complement of targets when you look at Rice, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Juju, and Taylor Swift's boyfriend. Travis Kelce. Oh, fiance. Excuse me. And
isn't that the guy that took he's got the COVID pill or the vaccine, Pfizer, Mr. Pfizer? Okay, anyway.
Yes.
Anyway.
Mr. Cleveland Heights. Or
there you go. All right,
He's got a podcast, kind of like us.
New heights. Okay, anyways, continue.
They also have rookie Tyquan Thornton as well, so you can see, just bottom line, Mahomes has got back his full complement of targets, Steve.
Yeah, Rashee Rice coming back, from suspension and injury before.
Yeah, that's Steve's pick.
Yeah,
Chiefs.
He started to emerge. And that's the thing about Mahomes. You don't have to give him that much. It's kind of like we used to talk about with Brady.
Yeah.
As long as you give him a couple of solid targets, he doesn't need a Chase or a Higgins or a Jefferson or a true alpha.
The one thing.
And Travis Kelce, that's good enough.
I'm going to bring this up.
I'm
going to bring this up because I feel like it's something that we got to talk about, and that is the creativity on offense. And somebody mentioned this. It was actually Adam the Bull. He said this on a podcast recently.
Yeah.
And I thought this too, actually, before Adam the Bull said it. Where is the creativity? Where's the motion? Where is the guy running up? Where is the deception on the Browns offense? It's way too predictable. And bottom line, I know we're talking about the Chiefs, but that's what the Chiefs do good at. They're very good at creativity and motion on the offense to throw the defense off. And I just have to bring it up because, the Browns need that. And if they don't have that, it's not good. So good.
Yeah, that just shows you what an Andy Reid offense can do.
That's all I'm saying.
To a Stefanski
Continue.
offense.
Sorry. Yeah.
It was a scary thought that Mahomes has back his full arsenal of pass catchers. In this one, the Chiefs would ultimately score touchdowns on their first 4 drives before tacking on a field goal on their 5th drive. While the Chiefs were humming, the Raiders were stagnant on both sides of the ball, especially on offense, playing without several starters, including their best pass catcher, tight end Brock Bowers, and wideout Jacoby Myers. The Raiders picked up 3 first downs and went 0 for 7 on 3rd down, getting just 95 yards on 29 plays. Las Vegas never tried to get Ashton Genty, a running back we picked, I believe, was our offensive rookie of the year before the start of the season, Steve.
That's right.
Going,
I had him too.
6 carries for 21 yards. It was terrible. He's running behind a terrible run-blocking offensive line. A lot of this is not his fault. It was also another lackluster performance from Geno, Steve.
I know Geno.
Boy, it's bad.
I was not fond of him, you know that.
Yeah, 10 of 16 for 67 yards. He was relieved late in the game by Kenny Pickett. Where have we heard that? Where have we heard that name before, Browns fans?
Did he have his Mizuno batting glove on? Anyway.
I did not check.
Okay, continue.
This offense is in bad shape at more than a few levels. The QB play is awful, and that may be kind. I didn't think, Steve, it would get worse, though, than Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. But
I know.
I mean,
they were more competitive.
I know.
Can you believe this is a Pete Carroll football team, by the way? I mean, what was his fate? The other guy did better last year as the coach, and you're right. O'Connell.
O'Connell and Minshew. I thought that Geno at least would be a slight upgrade over O'Connell and Minshew.
Is Pete Carroll getting too old? Is he getting dementia on the sideline? What's going on?
Oh my God.
It's bad.
Wow.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
No, I love Pete Carroll. He was great in Seattle. He's got fire, but this team is just not looking very good.
He doesn't fit Raider Nation.
Yeah.
No.
This just might not be a good fit.
I think that's what it is. I don't think it's a Pete Carroll thing.
Yeah,
it's not a good fit.
So you got the quarterback situation. The run game is struggling. I mean, Jenny's a good running back, but the run blocking offensive line, it's just terrible up front. They can't create any holes. Not to mention they're without their best pass catcher on the team in Bowers, as I mentioned earlier. Steve, you just said it. The return to the NFL for Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly's not working out well at all. It's bad. It was also what also added insult to injury here is Pro Bowl pass rusher Max Crosby left after he sustained back and knee injuries during the first half. Just not good. Looks like to be a very
He's
long.
their best player, Crosby.
Looks like it's going to be a very long and hard season in Las Vegas. On the defensive side for the Chiefs, star defensive tackle Chris Jones to get a second sack of the season. The Chiefs' defense was impressive considering they only gave up 95 total yards. I can't believe they held the Raiders under 100 yards. That's crazy. Last thing I wanted to point out is Mahomes. It's crazy how he's almost underrated given, just how little we've discussed him relative to his quarterback competition out there, guys. It's like we take him for granted. He's one of the most accomplished players in the history of this league. Mahomes reminded everyone how good he is Sunday, especially when he has his full complement of weapons at his disposal. I mean, think about this, guys. I think this is underrated. Through 7 games, Mahomes has thrown 14 touchdown passes against 2 picks while completing 66% of his passes.
Unbelievable.
And that's without his full arsenal of weapons. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It really looks like the Chiefs are, kind of rounding into form and really starting to get going. Just in conclusion, guys, just a few points, last couple points. The Raiders have some serious issues. This is a team I thought that would show a little bit more improvement this season. Again, I thought anything would be an upgrade at quarterback over Minshew and O'Connell, as I mentioned earlier. The O-line blocking, especially run blocking, is horrible. The injuries have been a killer. All I can say is look out. The defense has been really solid again for the Chiefs. This is a team rounding into form. The offense was just waiting for Patrick to get back his full arsenal of weapons. They appear ready to start making their run. And I just have to say thanks to the Chiefs for giving me my first W.
Yeah, no doubt. Dave did good there. In my game of the week, I went to the Commanders and Cowboys, and didn't go my way on that. The prediction was I had the Commanders winning that one, 37-30. And it was a beatdown, but then, a little bit of a caveat there. My boy got hurt.
Yes.
Third quarter. So the Cowboys dominated.
The Cowboys.
Yep.
Dak looks good, by the way. Dak looks great.
But he always looks good at home. Just keep that in mind.
But statistically, he's been playing well.
I know. It's MVP season. I get it.
Well,
but home base.
You could also say that the Justin Herbert line is, the postseason.
Well,
the postseason.
yeah, but I'd say that Dak is probably less of a fraud than Herbert and Lawrence because he has had some postseason success.
Yeah, there's been some postseason games he's played well.
And you could even say, I think it was a year or two ago, he brought them back against the Packers. They were up. I think the Packers were up by a couple touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, and Dak brought them all the way back. They lost.
Right.
But no, Dak. I think his day's coming. We'll see. Okay. The Cowboys dominated the Commanders with a 42-22 victory, a contest that definitely tipped in Dallas's favor as rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels, a.k.a. my side chick, suffered a hamstring injury on a third-quarter sack and fumble. Dak Prescott was brilliant, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, highlighted by a 74-yard strike to the returning CeeDee Lamb.
Yes.
While Javonte Williams, he added 116 rushing yards. Daniels was initially effective, throwing for 156 yards and a touchdown while adding a rushing score before his exit. However, his injury was immediately followed by a disastrous pick 6 by Cowboys cornerback DaRon Bland and on the ensuing drive against the backup Marcus Mariota. boy, there's Mariota again.
Yeah.
You know how that goes.
When there's a Mariota sighting, it's never necessarily a good thing. I will say, Washington has some serious issues on the defensive side of the ball. They really need Jaden Daniels, and they also need Debo and McLaurin to be healthy.
To have all of that going.
They're going to need their offensive weapons and them healthy.
They will.
Because this is a team that is going to have to score points to win games.
Yeah, this was a tough matchup. Securing the blowout for the Cowboys, although the hamstring strain is not significant or long-term, Daniels has already been ruled out for the Commanders' next game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Wow. While Mariota is set to start in this place. Oh, God.
Mariota.
I think I might stay away from that game next week.
They're about ready to run into a buzzsaw, too.
I feel like he was better for the Falcons as a backup.
Yeah, he was.
Than he was for the Commanders.
Was he a Titans backup?
Well, he started for the Titans, and then he got benched.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
He didn't play bad football in Atlanta. They beat the Browns a couple of years ago with Mariota as a starter.
Marcus Mariota won a playoff game. The 2017 season, he officially ended the Alex Smith era in Kansas City. Because that was Smith's last year as a starter.
He was with the Titans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mariota was with the Titans. He ended the Alex Smith era. They had a big comeback win at Arrowhead. And, spoiled the end of the Alex Smith era. And then there was this quarterback by the name of Patrick Mahomes that took over in 2018, and the rest is history.
I like to be a Buckeye honk and see Mariota on the other side. We like to beat Mariota, the Oregon Ducks. Okay, anyways, all right, we're going to get to the last segment here, boys, and that is the bold prediction. Dave, lead us into another victory for your bold prediction. You're back on the schneid here. You're doing good, buddy. Hey,
you're all
grown up. You're all
not so much on
round
the bold
of applause.
I know.
Not so much on the bold prediction.
Like the movie The Swingers. He's all grown up. Our little baby's all grown up. All right, what do you got?
Well, unfortunately on this one, Brent, I can't take a victory lap. This one did not turn out like I expected. I picked Travion Henderson to go over 100 total yards from scrimmage. That's rushing and receiving. Well, you can't win them all, guys. This appeared to be a good matchup for Henderson, especially against a shaky Titans defense, and it just wasn't good. He only got 2 carries in the game for 5 yards, and he didn't catch a pass.
Just trade him in for Ramondre Stevenson. I told Brent, actually, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yes.
I texted him, I go, if he would have put Stevenson in there, he might get the 100 yards.
But what did Stevenson get?
He had 88 yards rushing.
Oh, yeah, solid.
He might have had a couple catches. I'd have to double check that.
Well, you thought Henderson would get loose, didn't you?
Well, here's the thing.
I'm surprised.
His role seems non-existent in this offense.
I'm surprised Vrabel, because he's a great coach, doesn't involve him more.
You've got some connections, Steve. Let's give McDaniels and Vrabel a call.
I know. I'm going to say play Henderson more. Like I'm Jimmy Haslam.
Are you going to see him at the reunion, the family reunion with all your mom and the teacher thing and baked beans? And aren't you going to see him? Okay, anyways, continue.
Yeah, it's interesting. His snap share, it was only 13.8% in this game, so he's not even getting on the field. And nobody on the coaching staff sounds excited about Henderson at this point. And none of them have even tried to pretend they think the rookie needs to be more involved in this offense. Yeah. If anything, the team seems like they're actively working to get the first-year running back less involved. It's not like Ramondre Stevenson has been especially good this year. He was actually coming into this game only averaging 3.1 yards a carry coming into this one. It'll just be interesting to see if Vrabel and Josh McDaniels have any kind of a role for him going forward this season. Steve, it's time to make some phone calls.
I know. I mean, God, he was good in the preseason.
Yeah.
I even made a comment. I shouldn't say this. I was like, man, we got the wrong guy. We should have got Henderson and not Judkins. Okay, I take that back. I get a take back.
Scratch
that.
Yeah.
I kind of thought Judkins was going to, because he's more of a bell cow.
Right,
we had
he's
to
more
wait for
built
Judkins
as an in-between the tackles run.
Yeah, absolutely, and you need that for the Browns, where you don't need the finesse. He's more a finesse guy, Henderson. Okay. Mr. Steve Retzer, we're going to get into the bull prick. Steve, did you win this one, buddy?
Well, boys, so let me just go ahead and tell you.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a W.
I had the Falcons and the 49ers, all right? And my bold prediction was that the Falcons would upset the 49ers at home, and I was wrong. The 49ers won 20-10. I thought Bijan Robinson would have a good game running the ball, who was actually Christian McCaffrey on the other team, who had a big running game. I thought the Falcons were becoming a hot team, especially after beating the Bills. Remember Atlanta's front seven is awesome. I thought they were going to show up. They didn't really show up in this game, guys. And as we know, Kyle Shanahan is a great coach, and he can coach up any quarterback. He's doing that with Mac Jones. I mean, it goes to show you a really good coach can coach. With player Fred Warner's out for the year. I'm thinking Atlanta can beat these guys. I thought it. I thought it.
That's the surprising thing.
They're winning with the other guys. With the backups going in or whoever.
Sure.
They're winning football games. The 49ers surprised me this year, guys.
They lost their two best players on defense. To lose Boza and to lose Fred Warner is huge.
Yeah.
But credit new defensive, back to his old job, Robert Saleh, for doing a really good job with that defense. I will say, in watching Atlanta, I still think you see some inconsistencies out of Penix. Where he doesn't seem to be able to, he's just consistently make those key throws when he needs to. And this game was still, ripe to be had in the fourth quarter. It was a 13-10 game. They had some chances there, to maybe come back and pull out a victory for you, Steve. But, I still see some inconsistencies with him and that passing game that could cause concern moving forward for the Falcons.
Yeah, Penix, I mean, he's still a young quarterback.
Right.
He still has more room for development. I mean, they might win more even another year or two. But I mean, they got London, they got Kyle Pitts.
Right.
I mean, he's got some weapons.
Arguably the best running back in football too. I love Bijan Robinson. Yeah.
So, at any rate, guys, go get them next time, Falcons. Go Falcons.
You hanging out with CJ too much, and he's telling you who to pick. And,
I know. I'm thinking that CJ likes him. Maybe I just gotta roll
you gotta
with
take
that.
CJ. You gotta drink CJ's Kool-Aid.
The CJ team.
Oh man, okay. We like CJ though. All right. Okay. All right. As far as we'll wrap things up. My take on the Browns. I had the Browns getting boat raced. I was wrong. I kind of felt. Steve and I kind of thought the same thing on that. We thought that Tua was no joke a few years ago. He was lighting up Josh Allen and the Bills, and he was staying. And I didn't think, even with that, I just thought the Browns' offense, which it was crappy, but I didn't see the Judkins thing. I didn't see that coming. That's where I was wrong.
Well, this is if there was ever a game for the run game to get right, it was going to be this game because the Dolphins have the worst rush defense in the NFL.
But I didn't think it would be, because it was a complete domination.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. Yeah.
Well, and I think this just shows you how far Tua has fallen.
He has. And he's rattled.
Yeah, he's rattled. That's why Schwartz got after him with the blitz packages because, again, the blood was in the water. So, and the Browns' defense took advantage.
And, I'll say this about the Browns. They're not the worst team in the NFL. There's probably another three. There's probably about 5 other teams that are worse.
Titans are pretty bad.
Saints, Jets,
Saints.
Yeah, so
we might not be the worst.
What if you flip, either the Cincinnati game or the Minnesota game? This team is in contention for this division. If you flip, imagine if you flip both of those games. Right?
I actually think another comment can be made here. If Stefanski wasn't calling the plays and it was somebody else that was competent. I think they're right in it. They're right there because they got the D. They got the D.
I agree. The defense is
it's the Stefan. Go ahead.
And the best young running back in football, I believe, in Judkins. So
the receiver part is an issue with the offense, and we cannot deny that.
And the offensive tackles are awful.
But and I know it probably still could be better than what it is now. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it can be, but
But that doesn't mean they're going to boat race.
This was always a season to find out whether one of these two guys going to be the future quarterback.
Yeah, and then we'll see. I think to wrap things up here, I think Dylan Gabriel needs to play against the Jets. I'm all in favor if he doesn't, or not the Jets. Sorry, the Patriots. The Patriots. Yeah. If he does good on that game and he holds serve, even if they lose, he does well. I want to keep playing him, but if he does bad and he just goes into the toilet, I'm ready to move on to the Shador thing.
Okay.
It's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. I don't think he looked comfortable in the game. I'm just telling you. He did regress in my mind. Is it the worst quarterback play? I've never seen but I just don't think, how do I say this? Like Stefanski's offense, because he's not opening up the playbook. It's not fair to anybody. Flacco did bad. Dylan's not doing, but if it's going to be like this,
this offense doesn't work for anybody.
No, and you might just want to throw Shador in just for the heck of it. I mean,
I hate to let him perform bad because of getting handed a bad offense
and everybody, because they're hating on your boy. with that off.
He's coaching conservatively because he knows that's the only path for this team to win games, and he knows he's coaching for his job.
Now, do you guys?
That's also factual.
I'd rather see more interceptions.
That's true.
A little more
Yes.
action.
But no,
Yes.
that
you would.
I see what he's saying.
But
I see what
you
he's
know
saying.
what? If he goes out, lets these quarterbacks let it rip, lets them be Jameis Winston from a year ago, Steve.
That's what.
And the interceptions start to come, and they get exposed, and we have losses, and we find out that we have two quarterbacks that aren't our future.
Yeah.
He's going to go down with that ship, Steve. And he's not prepared to go down with that ship. If he's going to go down, he feels I'll go down with my conservative game plan
at least,
and my dink and dunk and run the ball and
try to
win
13 to 10.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Steve and I had a theory that the Jameis Winston and go back to Flacco with the Texans was the big reason why Stefanski's like, oh, we're not doing that again.
Yeah.
Steve, do you still kind of think that Winston thing kind of bothered him?
Yeah, I think it did.
You know what? Go ahead.
No, Winston, that definitely bothered him. Stefanski couldn't stand it on the sideline thinking, like, what's he doing? Another one.
Yeah.
I remember Winston was praying. I mean, please, God, don't let this pick six happen again. He said it right on the...
He did.
In an interview,
So,
Stefanski was probably shake my head, Like, he didn't want to see that.
You know what I think is that... It's the old adage of you heard about the person that wants to be the born again Christian and he does the 180 and all that. Stefanski he did too much of a 180. He shouldn't have done that. He limited the playbook too much, guys.
Yeah.
He just did. I mean, I understand you don't want to throw picks, but my God, this is the extreme the other way.
What kind of install is this? He's installing a new offense. What kind of install is this? Dink and dunk. It's just they could even let Flacco down a little bit more.
You even limited Flacco.
How about a little bit more?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's read his team, and he understands the strength of the team is the defense. Probably his best player again is his running back. My only way to win football games is this way, and I have to play within those constraints.
That's what he's doing. It's like in his head. The only way I'm going to keep my job is to play conservative.
That's right.
Because I got one hell of a defense, don't I?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, that's it.
But he's not doing these quarterbacks any favors with that strategy.
But I think that the problem with doing the limitation is the defense can stack the box. They can right. They don't have to play the deep ball, right?
He can be in love with that game plan, but that game plan's eventually going to get exposed.
It's too much the extreme the other way.
Yeah,
it's the guy that's in his mid-40s. He's going through a midlife crisis. I got to get the motorcycle. I was doing this my whole life, and now I got to do something. It's too much the other way. No, what are you doing?
I'm not touching that one. Bro.
I know. Anyways, all right, guys, let's get final thoughts, and we'll wrap this thing up. Let's go around here. Any final thoughts here, and we'll kind of wrap it up.
Yeah, well, it was just good to see the Browns get a win. I think this, gets a little bit of energy out there, positive energy for the fans, for the players, for sure. For the coaches. I have my doubts on whether they're going to keep this momentum going, Steve. I don't know about you.
Yeah, guys, it was real nice seeing a Browns win. I felt like they did this for the fans, and the fans deserve it. And you're right, Dave. We got the Patriots next. I don't know what I really feel about that. I mean,
he might be wanting because he's got.
Don't we have the bye week coming soon, or?
Yeah, the bye week is after this week. We got the bye week.
Okay.
So, all right, well said, boys. Have a good one. Take care.